Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
Mema wakwaba e de ba PENDREAM TV so make sure say obe subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to our sabit me aka ntem no watie afa so make sure say obe like na wa comment no share ama afoforo so nsaka na comment section ho so no opese wo kire wa adwen obetimi e de wadwen kire ato honom na amanfo so anya bia kenkan na onim say PENDREAM TV there eye nsem a ekoso Ghana yam politics mu ne de ba na yasaka ya ne de abranti na so me video I saka pese no che na ye de ba nti me mo modern astro so obehwe video we amana si awie na wa kire wa adwen e comment section na se yenko video.
It's interesting. I'll deal with the issue of the profitability of the Labadi beach that he claims is 150 million. Is that what you said?
Million.
158 million in what year?
Last year, their
Labadi Beach Hotel.
Labadi Beach 23. Yeah, their financials. Yeah, from Labadi Beach Hotel. I have a copy here.
Yeah, you can project it for us to see because in 2023, Labadi Beach in fact made a turnover of 210,871,394. And a net profit after tax of 51 million. So where's the 100?
Oh, so you are talking about net profit. I'm talking about gross profit.
But is that what's the meaning of gross profit?
No.
The profitability of an entity is determined as per its net profit. But you put the figure
it's
out
still
there.
making profit.
So why did it? No, but nobody has said it's making losses.
Have you read the 19th statement?
Oh, please. I have the profitability of Labadi Beach and all the 6 hotels from 2009 to 2023. And in fact, the only dividends that Labadi Beach has paid to SNET over the 15-year period is 48 million Ghana cedis. 1.5% investment return. Randy, you heard me. 1.5% return on investment for SNET.
Yeah,
if you had
so we should sell it.
Oh, I'm coming. You see, Randy, we live in this country, and I'm glad that he says he started his activism in 2008. But interestingly, his activism is selective. Selective amnesia, if I may borrow the word from the revered Kukubako. Because we live in this country. In 2011, SNET sold its majority interest in Trust Bank to EcoBank. At the time, your activism had gone under the water. SNET sold its 90% stake in First Atlantic Merchant Bank, where I was the head of legal at the time, to Kedari Capital, Nigerians, 90%. You were here as a deputy minister of the Republic. At the time, you were not, your activism.
Did any government official buy it? I don't get this. I don't get this.
You see,
this is red herring. It's total obfuscation.
It's a principle.
Mention a government official in the NDC administration or in cabinet who was at the center of those transactions you've listed.
See.
Because
you see, when I came,
you're sending us on a wild goose chase.
I had my constitution in my bag.
Wild goose chase.
But I was traveling out. I was sitting here when you were talking. I was sitting right here. So when I came, I grabbed a copy of your constitution. Because I've been following the gymnastics that my good friend Samuel Okudzeto has been doing in the media relative to this matter. And he's going to charge, pursuant to Article 284 and 287. Oh, please. I've been through a little bit of law school, so you let me make my point. Saying that the Honorable Bryan Acheampong was or is in a conflict of interest position in this particular transaction. And I asked myself, really, my good friend, does he understand what conflict of interest is? Does he? But I'm sure that after he filed, this is just only speculating, when he filed his processes at charge, it became apparent to him that he probably had misfired. And so, rather than wait for the outcome of this charge decision, he's gone on the tangent of inciting people, playing his usual political gimmicks, purely for political expediency, nothing more. Because you see, the Constitution is very clear. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. What has Honorable Bryan Acheampong done in a public bid that has made him put himself in a conflict of interest position? In any event, who says the Constitution bars public officials from engaging in public transactions? If it was the case, why would you be seeking to sponsor a law at this time? Who says so? In fact, it is in recognition of the fact that public officers can participate in public transactions, but to ensure that they do not put themselves in an advantage position over everybody else. The reason for this provision in the Constitution. And make a declaration of your interest and recuse yourself from participating in the decision making. What rule has Honorable Bryan Acheampong breached? What rule? None whatsoever. So, what does my good friend Sami Okudzeto, who all of a sudden, between 2009 when he was in government, or 2009, and 2016, forgot his public activism in 2020, 2024. His public activism has all of a sudden come to the fore. Randy, SNIT, as a policy, over the years, just like when they built the SNIT flats, which originally was intended to be managed by them, they realized that it was not sustainable. They took an investment decision to dispose of all their interest in the SNIT flats across the country, in every region. Between 2011 and 2013, I was on the board as secretary. You used to come and visit my good friend Kwesi Antichi when I was at the bank. As acting company secretary, First Atlantic Merchant Bank was consistent with the directives of the Bank of Ghana, out in the market looking for capitalization to increase its minimum stated capital. SNIT took a decision that, look, they want to rationalize their investments in the banking space. And so they wanted to put First Atlantic and Trust Bank together. These two banks, they had significant shareholding, and sell it off to EcoBank. The then managing director, of course, at the time, TTB had met the minimum capital requirement. First Atlantic hadn't met it. The then managing director, Mr. Arthur Judata, is still there. Asked Jerome Eshen, who was a representative of SNIT on the First Atlantic board, that look, we don't have any objection going into a measured discussion with EcoBank, but let us go in that transaction as equal partners. Immediately we finished the board meeting, Mr. Jerome Eshen went back to SNIT and they brought a check for 48 or so to acquire additional stake in the bank to enable us meet the minimum capital requirements. Coincidentally, at the time, we had engaged EM Capital, headed by Mike Ashon, to assist us raise the capital. And so Mike had brought these Kedari folks, headed by Odu Odunfa and Olu Balogun and his team, to also come and invest in the bank. So when the shareholders approved the SNIT additional investment as part of the processes for acquiring a significant interest in any bank in Ghana, right? Bank of Ghana needed to approve the transaction. So overnight, the shareholding structure of First Atlantic Merchant Bank changed from a Ghanaian, 100% Ghanaian-owned bank with SNIT as the majority shareholder to a Nigerian bank. At the time, your activism was nowhere to be found. And it wasn't as if it was a loss-making bank. TTB was not a loss-making bank either. In fact, if you read the EcoBank statement that they issued at the time, it was purely because of TTB's branch spread. The reason they participated in that transaction to dispose of or acquire SNIT stake in that bank. In fact, in 2013, Universal Merchant Bank, the 14th transaction, UMB was not doing badly. Your activism was nowhere to be found. Yet you come and sit on national TV, claim to be for God and country. When it suits your interest, for God and country. But of course, at the time, it was a strategic investment decision that SNIT had taken, which was approved by their board, that dispose of all your interest in the financial sector. And of course, along the line, SGSSB was also sold. Remember? So how different is that from their decision to dispose of their interest in the hospitality industry? Such that today, because it's a company that is owned by a public officer, no law bars any public officer from participating in any transaction in this country to the extent that they make the requisite disclosures. It becomes an issue for you to go and incite Ghana chiefs, Labadi people on such dangerous path, such dangerous path for political purpose. What are we doing to ourselves? Purely on the altar of political expediency. And you say that what? The TUC reps protested? When I'm told that the TUC rep, one of them, is the head of the procurement unit at the committee of the board, overseeing this entire process.
But the TUC itself,
you see,
the TUC itself has stated that their reps protested and that the board minutes will bear that out.
Have you seen it?
No, that's what they've said.
So let's see it. I don't have a problem. No, I don't have a problem. Let us see the board minutes.
Right.
So that we all will know whether indeed and in fact the rep, TUC rep who chairs the procurement committee of the board, who as we speak is still superintending this process, actually protested that it was okay for SNIT to continue supporting an investment that was giving the pension fund that they were managing 1.5% return on investment. If it was your property, if it was your business that you had invested in that was giving you 1.5% return on investment, will you keep it? Randy, I'm asking you a personal question. Will you keep it? But yes, it's Bryan Acheampong.
I won't sell Labadi.
You won't sell Labadi?
I never will.
Okay.
Because
so,
I understand that industry.
I don't have a problem.
Yes.
I don't. But I'm saying...
There is no way I'll sell Labadi.
So you sell Ridge Royale?
I won't sell.
You will sell Apam?
I won't sell.
You sell Elmina Beach?
I will not sell.
You will sell Buzia Beach?
I won't sell.
You will sell Charles Lodge?
I don't even know Charles Lodge.
Or it's in Beach Road, Takrady?
I don't know.
In fact,
I don't know
2019, Zilch, 2010, Zilch, 2011, Zilch, 12, Zilch, 13, Zilch, 14, Zilch, 15, 16, 17. It was only in 2018 that he made a turnover of 508. Tax profit of 4,224. 2019, turnover of 456,947. Net loss of 117,440. 2020, 213,157. Net loss 177,424. 2021, 415, net loss 100. You keep it. You still invest money in it. No, don't worry.
No, because you're asking me. Because you're asking me a question. You see, I would first of all, if you
I have to come and see you to see how.
No, because you're asking
you
me a
can
question.
find some money for me to invest in some ventures that
not
will
money.
Give you any return.
Not money. I'm saying
What?
that. I'm saying that, Bobo.
You would have sold First Atlantic.
Bobo, hold on.
Now I want to know.
No, you asked me a question
Okay.
about the hotel.
You won't sell.
I'm saying
because you know the industry.
I am saying that I would first of all ask myself, how come Labadi is doing well and La Palm is not doing well? I must ask myself that question. How come Ridge Royal is doing well and Bejaya is not doing well? I need to ask myself those questions.
And you think they haven't asked?
I need to. I have not seen proof of that.
And so the basis for the decision was just.
I haven't seen proof of that because if
that
I
they
know
engaged the
La Palm,
transaction
we all
advisor.
know no. The transaction advisor was to do a different thing because you see, look, SNIT itself has taken a decision on this management with legacy and all that. A new administration takes office, they decide that they don't want to continue with that. They take a management decision and appoint people to go and manage those hotels. And in the last 7 years that they took the decision, this is how low those hotels have gone. So I will approach it differently. That's you're asking me the question. But I'm not the SNIT board. I will approach it differently because it won't make sense to me that La Palm, which has a lot more resources than Labadi, will go down the way it's gone and Labadi will be managed the way it's managed. There must be something fundamentally wrong. And that is what they must identify. Who appointed the people to run La Palm the last how many years?
Is that the question that Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is asking?
No, you asked me a question, so I'm giving you my answer.
So you were giving me your answer.
Yeah, you asked me a question, so I'm giving you my answer.
Right. But thankfully, you haven't put out peace to Shad challenging raising issues of conflict of interest. You haven't organized a demonstration inciting La Chiefs and youth for your political.
But let's be a bit careful.
I'm coming.
And not create the impression that
because
the Chiefs don't have.
No, that's not
the
what
Chiefs don't
I've
have
said.
the capacity.
No. I listened to Neil and Tebandapoy.
Yes.
I was sad.
Why?
The kinds of things that he said. The Ghana Abbey people, their lands. Hey, Randy, let's be cautious with our utterances because we are leaders, and our words carry a lot of weight. You heard him make reference to some statements that some people were making from Ashanti and other places. It may not necessarily be on all fours, but the kind of language that you hear on the screen that you showed. Why? So SNIT has made an investment on land that is acquired and is taking a decision that, look, this investment that I've made is not making me the requisite return for my shareholder, which is the pension fund. And we all are SNIT contributors. It's giving me only 1.5% return in 15 years. Who will hold on to it?
Why is SNIT holding on to STC?
I'm not aware whether SNIT is the owner of STC.
80%.
I don't have a problem. They can take a decision.
80%.
They can
GOG
take a decision.
20%.
I don't have a difficulty at all. You can ask the question. But I'm saying that just as they took those decisions to divest themselves of their interest in the financial sector when Okudzeto Ablakwa was in government and his activism had been buried. Profitable banks. I used to work in one. So, how do we approbate and reprobate? How do individuals have double faces? And they claim to be principled. And he says in his statement that what? The state assets should be sold, the expense of profitable. Historically, since 1966, the state of sale of state has not been in the supreme interest of Ghana. And therefore cannot continue on that destructive trajectory. The diversity implementation
does that not speak for his consistency?
So let's go back and reverse all those transactions all the way to 1966. Let him lead that course. that because all of these have not been in the national interest, reverse all of them.
Is that legally possible?
Are you asking me?
Yes, you are the lawyer on the table. You are the lawyer on the table. You are advocating for it.
You see, when we are being principled, we should be consistent in our principle, so people can support you. But what he's doing is pure politics. Pure. Because the law does not support you.
The law.
What law supporting? The constitution that he makes reference to. Does not support you.
You mean the case charge?
Of course.
Okay.
So he's making a call to pass a private member's bill to now ban public officers.
Clarity. It says there are gray areas people are taking advantage of.
Where's the gray? Where's the gray? Where is the gray?
Like some of the things you have quoted and where you have navigated through.
And you put profitability figures out, that is completely false. And now you say, oh, it's gross profit. So why didn't you state it that, oh, this is gross profit and net profit, they made so much? The information is there.
But it's still
I do not for the life of me see how any conscientious contributor will support an investment that gives 1.5% return in 15 years. 48 million cedis is what all that Labadi Beach, the most profitable of all, has paid by way of dividends to SNIT over the period.
Which of SNIT's investments, which of their investments makes more than that?
I don't know. If you have the figures, you can
No,
share it.
maybe.
No, I don't.
Maybe we must interrogate that.
I don't. For 15 years?
No, I'm saying we must ask which of SNIT's investments
So
makes more than that.
I don't have a difficulty when we ask the question that, look, is SNIT making worthwhile investments for the contributor on behalf of the fund owners that they manage? I don't have a problem at all. Let's interrogate it. But to single out an individual whose company has responded to a public bid published in the local and international media, merely on account of the fact that he's a minister of state, when no law bars him from doing so,
Right.
then it reduces the conversation to the politics that you are doing. Because I wasn't excited in 2013 when 11 when SNIT took the decision to dispose of First Atlantic Bank in the manner that it did. But of course, it was political. Because Judata had gone to give evidence against somebody that they didn't like. And so closed his bank. Damn the consequences. That's exactly what they did then. Is that what is happening today? Obviously not. But for the likes of Samuel Okudzeto, I don't want to use the word holier than thou posturing that sometimes he takes. Well, you have a record in government. So please, look, I'm saying that if there are questions that ought to ask, by all means, ask them. But on this particular transaction, Bryan Acheampong has not erred. His company, Rock City, has not erred. It was a legitimate process that SNIT board had approved. Collectively, were executing through a transaction advisor that had been validly and legitimately appointed. He participated. He's won the bid. Of course, some representations have been made to His Excellency the President. He's directed the Labour and Pensions Minister to look into it. I do not want to preempt the outcome of that process. But to the extent that it's a legitimate transaction, I think we should stop the politicking and let the institutions work.
Doc.
And before I go on this taxpayer ledger thing.
Yes.
In all honesty, I did not even know that Ghana Revenue Authority had a system in this nature. What I know is that at the end of the year, every company is enjoined to prepare their annual accounts ending 31st December of the previous year, and have up to 30th March to file.
In the ensuing year.
Yes, in the ensuing year. So Rock City's 2023 or any other entity's 2023 accounts has to be filed physically at the Registrar General's Department and Ghana Revenue Authority. Rock City has not filed its 2023 accounts. And so it cannot, under any circumstances, be established by any individual that they have made losses in 2023. This document does not demonstrate that. It cannot. And so, my good friend,
Where does it not demonstrate that?
where does it? They haven't filed their accounts.
They haven't filed their
They
taxes.
haven't. They have not filed their 2023 accounts.
They've not filed their taxes.
They have. Your taxes are filed by a certain date.
Yes.
30th March. They
Yes.
haven't filed it. Because they've written, oh, wait, I have the correspondence here. You can ask for extension of up to end of June to enable you file.
So that's what
exactly.
they've done.
I'll show you the letter. So all these things, and so if they take you on to prove the date that they filed their 2023 accounts, pursuant to which you sit on national TV to allege that they have made losses when the accounts have not been filed, you'll be in trouble.
Even to the extent that these filings were made by them.
Oh, but Randy, I'm not going to question the authenticity of this document. I don't know. I haven't seen any GRA document like this before in my life.
Okay.
I don't know. He says he intercepted. But I'm saying that filing of accounts and paying your taxes is a matter of fact, which is initiated by the entity in compliance with law.
Yes.
That entity has not filed its 2023 accounts as we speak.
Okay.
It has up to 30th of June to do so.
Okay.
And so if whatever the source of the document that you have intercepted does not include that fact, and you sit on national TV to make such allegation, they can take you on.
I'm sure he knows the repercussions of this.
So
Yes.
that one is up to you.
Yes.
But the fact is that, Randy, if you permit me, I will show
Yes.
the letter that Rock City wrote to the tax authorities within their operational zone to request, and this was done April 18th, requesting.
They wrote the letter April 18, 2024.
Yes, 2024.
Okay.
Requesting that Rock City's accounts for 2023 are yet to be finalized by its external auditors, Deloitte. Having considered the scheduled timetable for the said audit, it is reckoned that the statutory deadline of 30th April would not be met. We are therefore humbly requesting for a 2-month extension period to enable us to submit our annual returns for 2023 year assessment without any penal consequences. On the strength of our cordial relationship, we trust that our humble request will meet your kind approval. Signed, Accountant. And this was filed on the 23rd, or received at the Nkoko tax TSC. I don't know what that TSC means. Ghana Revenue Authority Client Services on the 23rd of April 2024.
Normal correspondence. Yeah.
So their accounts for 2023 have in fact not been filed.
Okay.